Hello students, today is your history class and last time in the last week we did chapter number 3 and the name of the chapter was India's internal challenges. So last time we have seen on your page number 10 the unrest in Punjab, what were the condition of Punjab, then we seen something called Operation Blue Star, then we have seen issues concerning Northeast India. For example, we seen what were the condition of Mizoram, then Nagaland, Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, and so on. Today, come to your page number 12 in your textbook, page number 12, and the paragraph is Naxalism. Now, first, let us try to understand what you mean by Naxalism. The term Naxalism derives its name from the village Naxalbari. Okay, so Naxalbari is a village in West Bengal. It is originated as rebellions against local landlords who bashed the peasants over the land disputes. Now, pay attention. Naxalite movement. Next, this movement started at Naxalbari. I told you Naxalbari is the name of a village in Darjeeling district in West Bengal. The Naxalites organized a small land holding farmers. Who were they? They were small land holding farmers and land laborers and took charge of the lands, put up red flags and declared the area as free territory territory in 1967. So they declared the area as a free territory. All those movements that took inspiration from this rebellion are called Naxalite movement. So what happened? Okay, so that rebellion is called as a Naxalite movement. The movement had the objective of establishing action committees. Now, what do you mean by action committee? A group. See, what you mean by action committee is a group of people who come together to organize and supervise others who are fighting. That's called action committees to raise a voice against the exploitation. Exploitation, making you work for 7 days in a week or you have been exploited of the farmers by the landlord and confiscate the land. Confiscate means what? To take away the land of the landlords and distribute it among the tenants. Later, the movement stayed away from its objective. It took recourse. Recourse means to ask somebody for help in difficult situation. That is called recourse. You ask for someone's help. It took recourse to terrorism to prevent any government scheme and welfare policies from reaching the common people. The Naxalites started parallel system by rejecting the democratic system. You know what you mean by democratic system? That is for the people and by the people. So they were rejecting the democratic system. This made Naxalism a serious challenge to India's internal security. The movement was mainly located in West Bengal. Later, the movement spread to West Godavari, to Andhra Pradesh parts of Vishakhapatnam, then Kiramnagar in Telangana, Adilabad, Bastar, Ranjanagaon and Sukma in Chhattisgarh, Gadchiroli, Bandara and parts of Chandrapur in Maharashtra. Balghat and Mandala in Madhya Pradesh and Kurapat in Odisha. So all this Naxal movement spread to every country. In order to maintain the influence, the Naxalists established an organization called People's Liberation Guerrilla Army. This conflict is still going on. Now, what do you mean by People's Liberation Guerrilla Army? It's a banned organization. Banned means what? This organization is not there in India, which aims to overthrow the government of India through people's war. Now, next thing, communalism. Communalism is a serious threat to the unity of our country. Now, what do you mean by communalism? That every community is giving importance for their own religion. Communalism emerges out of narrow religious pride. Religious pride means what? Everybody thinks that my religion is superior. The British sowed the seeds of communalism in our country. People of different religion were happily lived together since many centuries. For many years, people were living together. They had their own religious feelings. There is nothing wrong in people of different religion living together in country while being dual proud of their own religion. Proud means what? We are very much proud of our religion. But when this pride becomes excessive means what? Too much. Then it turns into bigotery. Bigotery means what? Unreasonable beliefs and disliking other people who have different beliefs. Each one then begins to consider their religion is superior and and others inferior. This leads to religion fantasm. Now, what do you mean by fantasm? It is an extreme belief that may lead to unreasonable or violent behavior. Fanatism is a base of communalism. It makes one oblivious of national interests. People of different religion don't trust each other. So you might be seeing that different religions nowadays they don't trust each other. They become suspicious of each other. So today we are suspicious of each other religion. Com- comprites. Comprites means what? A person born, residing or holding citizenship means people from your own country. That's called comparates. Following different religions are looked as enemies. Even commensality of coming together on festival becomes rare. So today the situation is very bad. Everybody thinks that my religion is superior and nobody wants to mix with the other religion. As a result, it becomes difficult for everybody to come together and get organized for demands and rights as citizens. Fanatism makes the perspective of looking events and people's prejudice. Prejudice means what? Not liking or trusting somebody. Some people began to think of economic and social questions also in the framework of their own religion. Some people of all religion think that since they belong to a particular religion, they have no influence in politics. So what people think that today we have got no influence in politics because religion differences. They began to believe that they are being treated unjustly. They hold the idea the government is partial. Partial means what? The government is not doing proper justice against their religion. In such condition, they become too sensitive about their religion and the co-religionist. Co-religionist means whose religion is the same as yours. If anybody speaks about the people of their religion or insult the religion symbols knowingly or unknowingly, rights break. Rights break means what? A fight takes place. For example, if somebody insults your religion or somebody talks about your religion, then what happens? Fight takes place. Because of this kind of thinking, hundreds of innocent people are killed. So when a fight takes place between two communities, what is the result? Hundreds of people are killed. Public property worth crores of rupees is damaged. Your public property is destroyed. Public place is destroyed. Which are public place like your holy places, your gardens, all these places get destroyed. Due to the bitter memories of the rise, people are estranged from each other and mutual trust receives a setback. Trust between people is the basis of coexistence. So, what is important? Trust is important between any religion. If trust breaks, social unity receives a blow. How can a national unity be achieved without social unity? So if there is no social unity, we will not able to achieve national unity. Hence, it is necessary that we all counter this religious communalism with all our strength. For this, we should mix with people of different religion. We should mix not only with our religion but also with different religion. We should accept the good practices and ideas of each other, accept with different practices of other religion, try to learn something from other religion. We should be able to look at and understand our economic and social problems rationally. We should not mix this question with religion. We should search for the economic, political, or historical reason that are reasonable for the disturbing religious harmony. Harmony means what? Peace. We should try to find the reasons why other regions' peace is disturbed. This is the only way to put an end to communalism and strengthen national unity. Now, regionalism. Regionalism means what? Is a strong feeling of pride or loyalty that people in a region. Regionalism means having excessive pride about one's region. It is one thing to introduce ourselves as Bengali or the Marathi person. But if I think that because I'm a Bengali or the Marathi, I'm superior to others from other provinces, it can be termed as excessive regional pride. So we should always have a regional pride. We should know, we should give importance to our region. The love for one's province turns morbid due to this kind of excessive regional pride. It is natural to feel love for one's province. You have to be proud of your own region, but you should not become abnormal. Regionalism thrives on regional imbalance in development. In the post independence period, some states achieved more progress while same states remain backward. So after independence, many states did progress, but some of the states are not developed today. For example, states like Maharashtra, Gujarat, Punjab, Tamil Nadu developed economically and industrially, whereas states like Odisha, Bihar, Assam remain undeveloped economically and industrially. Economic development and reforms are the Economic development and reforms are the foundation of progress. So, what you mean by economic development is when a country begins to produce more product and increase its overall wealth. That is called economic development. So, every region should try to do economic development. As a result, the states that develop economically can also achieve progress in other areas like education, health, and culture. The states which have not developed in this manner remain backward in education and civic amenities, means basic amenities. The opportunity of development available to people in developed state are not possible for people in backward state. So if a state is developed, even other states should try to develop. They are harassed by problems of education, backwardness, unemployment, poverty. Now, what do you mean by poverty? A state of being poor. Some of the states are still poor because there is no lack of education is there, backwardness is there, unemployment is there. Unemployment what? People those who are jobless. They began to think that they are being cheated. They are being kept away from the benefits of development. Because of this, the understanding between state is broken. This in turn had a negative impact on national unity. The economic imbalance has been endangered. Endangered means what? To cause a danger. This understanding needs to be set right. Our government make efforts in that direction. So our government is trying its level best that every state should develop. Regionalism can affect developed as well as undeveloped states. So We should not think that although our state is developed, but it can, to certain reason, it can be undeveloped also. The people of developed state began to believe that they are superior due to their superior history and culture, and hence they have developed that much. Then they began to look down upon the people of undeveloped regions. They are not willing to share the benefits of development with a backward state. On the other hand, the people from backward areas need to arouse their regional identity to organize themselves. Means what? The people from backward areas, they should try to develop by taking example from the developed states. For this, they try to unnecessarily glorify. Glorify means what? To make something better or more important local tradition and culture to prove their uniqueness. This leads to regionalism. It endangers means to cause the danger. National unity, the evil of rationalism, can be tackled by reducing the imbalance in development, means try to give development for everyone. Now, we have studied a few challenges that India is facing. Apart from this, there are several problems like overpopulation. See, beside this, there are many other problems that states are facing. One is overpopulation, means there is more number of people. Cleanliness, agriculture, and problems of farmers, poverty, housing, and food. We are trying to overcome these and move forward. We are progressing steadily. Steadily means we are progressing very slowly. Then in the next chapter, we will see about economic field. Okay, students, I will send you the marking of the answers. Please try to write the answers in your notebook. And hope so you have understood this lesson. Thank you.